Strange photos, ghostly stories, and baffling artifacts explore mysteries that defy logic. Here's something intriguing. A subscriber recently sent me this photo, claiming it was taken just days before a major historical event. At first glance, it looks like a glamorous runway show, but here's the twist. It's allegedly from 1963, right before the fashion designer involved disappeared without a trace. The story suggests that the show's theme, a celebration of diversity, sparked controversy. Strangely, every model in this collection vanished from public records after the event. Was it sabotage, a scandal, or something far darker? What do you think? Write in the comments. Picture this, you're napping on your couch and out of nowhere, a rock from outer space crashes through your roof and hits you. That's exactly what happened to Ann Hodges in Alabama, 1954. A meteorite, older than Earth itself, struck her after bouncing off her radio, leaving a massive bruise and making her the only known person to survive such an event. What followed was a whirlwind of media attention, bizarre legal battles, and endless speculation. Her landlord claimed the meteorite belonged to them since it landed on their property, while Ann argued it was hers. After all, it had literally hit her. Ann eventually kept the rock but grew weary of its notoriety, later donating it to a museum. To this day, the story is steeped in mystery. Was it a one-in-a-billion coincidence, or was the universe trying to send a message? Whether you see it as a cosmic joke or something more profound, Ann's story is a reminder that sometimes truth is far stranger than fiction. Boston, 1919. A seemingly ordinary winter day turned into one of the most bizarre disasters in history. Without warning, a massive molasses tank burst, sending a 25-foot-high wave of thick syrup flooding through Boston's North End. It moved at 35 miles per hour, faster than most people could run, sweeping away everything in its path, people, horses, buildings, and even a train. The disaster claimed 21 lives and left over 150 injured, with survivors struggling to free themselves from the sticky chaos. But the tragedy didn't end there. For decades, locals claimed the area still smelled of molasses, and strange whispers were reportedly heard on quiet nights near the site. Was it the echo of those lost in the disaster, or just the haunting aftermath of an event so surreal? The Great Molasses Flood remains a reminder that even the most mundane substances can cause extraordinary destruction. Let's dive into the depths of history, literally. In 1907, the Iron Man diving suit emerged as a marvel of engineering, resembling something from a futuristic nightmare. This heavy, metal-clad suit allowed divers to reach unprecedented depths, protected from the crushing pressure of the ocean. But stories of its use are as chilling as the waters it explored. Divers reported eerie sensations, like being followed or watched in the endless blackness of the sea. Some claimed to hear faint whispers through the suit, though no one was nearby. The most unsettling tale? A diver once ascended to the surface, claiming he saw something move past him, enormous and silent, just beyond the range of his light. Was it the vastness of the deep playing tricks on the mind, or something truly unknown? The Iron Man suit was a testament to human innovation, but also a reminder of the mysteries lurking beneath the waves. Beneath the bright lights and romantic streets of Paris lies a chilling secret. The catacombs, a sprawling underground ossuary housing the remains of over 6 million people. Originally created to address the overflowing cemeteries of the 18th century, this labyrinth of bones and skulls stretches for miles. But it's not just a historical site, it's the source of countless ghostly tales and urban legends. Visitors report hearing faint whispers, footsteps echoing through the tunnels, or even seeing shadowy figures vanish around corners. Some explorers have ventured too far into the maze-like passages and never returned. Then there are the rumors of secret rituals and hidden chambers known only to a few. What is it about this eerie place that stirs such fear and fascination? Perhaps it's the inescapable reminder of mortality, or the feeling that the dead still linger, watching from the walls of bone. In 1939 London, a seance drew an eager crowd, all hoping to witness the supernatural. Colin Evans, a self-proclaimed medium, claimed he could levitate. During one seance, a photograph was taken that appeared to show Colin suspended in mid-air, his arms raised in triumph. The audience gasped, convinced they were witnessing something otherworldly, but skeptics soon exposed the trick. Colin had jumped from his chair and rigged a hidden device to trigger the camera's flash, capturing him mid-jump. Yet even when the hoax was revealed, attendees insisted they had felt an unexplainable presence in the room, an energy they couldn't shake. Was it just the power of suggestion, or had Colin inadvertently tapped into something real? Fraud or not, his seances remain a curious example of how the line between the real and the mysterious can blur when belief takes hold. Now, let's swing to 1930s London, where parents turned to an unusual invention, the baby cage. These wire enclosures were suspended outside apartment windows, letting babies get fresh air and sunlight, even several stories above the ground. While practical for cramped city living, the sight of babies dangling over streets caused a mix of fascination and fear. What if the cage fell? The risk seemed immense. Yet parents swore by it, believing the exposure to the outdoors was worth it. Today we see this invention as shocking, but it also reflects how far parents would go to give their children what they thought was best, albeit in the most unconventional ways. As World War II loomed in 1938, fear of chemical warfare gripped Europe. In response, British engineers unveiled one of the strangest inventions of the time, the gas-resistant baby stroller. Resembling a cross between a submarine and a pram, this contraption featured a fully enclosed design with a filtration system to protect infants from poisonous gas attacks. While practical in theory, its appearance unnerved many. Could parents really trust this odd invention to keep their babies safe during an air raid? Yet photographs from the time show mothers proudly using these strollers, strolling through parks while war loomed on the horizon. The eerie juxtaposition of innocence and danger in these images makes the gas-resistant baby stroller not just a relic of innovation, but also a chilling reminder of how war permeates even the most mundane aspects of life. Speaking of eerie moments, what happens when things move from war's pragmatism to the unexplained? Fast forward to 1977, where a quiet suburban house in Enfield, England, became the epicenter of one of the most infamous poltergeist cases in history. The Hodson family reported strange noises, moving furniture, and an oppressive presence. But the real shock came in the form of levitation. Witnesses, including neighbors and investigators, claimed to see 11-year-old Janet Hodgson lifted into the air by an unseen force. A now famous photograph shows Janet suspended mid-air above her bed, her face contorted in fear. Was it proof of the supernatural? Skeptics argue she could have simply jumped, but the raw emotion in her expression suggests something far more sinister. The Enfield case remains one of the most hotly debated paranormal events, capturing the thin line between reality and the unexplainable. From levitating girls, we drift to another ghostly figure, one that haunts an abandoned cemetery. Bachelors Grove Cemetery in Illinois is notorious for its eerie reputation, and one photograph from 1991 solidified its place in paranormal lore. Taken during a routine investigation, the image shows a translucent woman sitting on a broken headstone. Dubbed the Madonna of Bachelors Grove, the figure appears to be dressed in old-fashioned clothing, her face sorrowful, as if mourning something or someone lost long ago. The cemetery itself has been the site of countless ghostly sightings, from phantom farmers to glowing orbs. But the photograph remains the most chilling evidence of all. Skeptics dismiss it as a trick of light or an overactive imagination, yet no explanation fully debunks the haunting image. It raises a question. Do places of grief and loss retain echoes of those who came before? The same might be asked of the open sea, where one ship has become a phantom of its own. The sea is vast, mysterious, and home to tales of ghostly vessels, and none are as strange as the SS Bimo. This cargo ship was abandoned in 1931 off the coast of Alaska after being trapped in ice. Left for dead, it somehow freed itself and began an eerie journey as a ghost ship. Over the next several decades, the Bimo was spotted numerous times, drifting aimlessly, sometimes even entering shipping lanes before vanishing again. Attempts to board or recover the vessel always ended in failure. Was it cursed, or simply a testament to the enduring power of the sea? The last confirmed sighting was in 1969, yet whispers of its presence persist. To this day, the SS Bimo remains one of the ocean's greatest mysteries, a symbol of the unknown, much like the ghostly figures and unexplained levitations that seem to defy logic. In 1921, a photograph captured one of the most moving and poignant moments of post-war resilience. A blind World War I veteran on his wedding day. The groom, having lost his sight in the trenches, stood proudly beside his radiant bride, the two of them embodying a powerful message of hope and love triumphing over hardship. For many, this image symbolized the sacrifices made during the Great War, a reminder of the millions who returned home with scars, both seen and unseen. But the story behind the photo carries even deeper layers. The veteran, like many who suffered catastrophic injuries, reportedly faced recurring dreams of the battlefield, as though the trauma of war had become inescapable. Yet, on this day, those struggles seemed momentarily forgotten, eclipsed by a moment of joy. The wedding wasn't just a personal victory for the couple, it was a public testament to the endurance of the human spirit. From this powerful image of love and recovery, we ascend quite literally to a moment that changed how we view the world, the first aerial photograph. In 1860, photography soared to new heights, literally, when James Wallace Black captured the first aerial photograph of Boston. Perched in a hot air balloon thousands of feet above the city, Black took a groundbreaking image titled Boston, as the eagle and the wild goose see it. It was a moment that revolutionized how humans saw their world, offering a perspective that had previously been the domain of imagination and birds. But this wasn't without risk. Balloon flights were perilous, and photographers often braved harsh winds, disorienting altitudes, and unpredictable weather. What's more, early aerial adventurers reported strange occurrences, unusual lights hovering near their balloons or dark shadows moving across the ground below them. While skeptics dismissed these as tricks of light or atmospheric phenomena, others speculated that they were glimpses of something unexplained. Black's photograph, though free from supernatural interference, marked the beginning of an era where humans could see their world from a godlike vantage point. The year was 1934, and a single grainy image forever etched the Loch Ness monster into the annals of mystery. Known as the surgeon's photograph, it appeared to show a long neck and head rising gracefully from the still waters of Scotland's Loch Ness. Almost overnight, the photo turned the mythical Nessie into a worldwide sensation. For decades, debates raged over its authenticity. Was it truly a prehistoric creature that had somehow survived into the modern age, or was it, as skeptics suggested, a clever hoax involving a toy submarine and a sculpted neck? Even as evidence mounted that the photo was staged, believers pointed to centuries-old tales of a mysterious beast inhabiting the loch. What makes Nessie's legend endure? Perhaps it's the hope that our world still holds secrets, vast deep waters where ancient creatures might still swim unseen and untouched. From the depths of Loch Ness, we now step into an enchanted woodland where magic seemed to come to life in photographs. In 1917, two cousins, Elsie Wright and Frances Griffiths, shook the world with what they claimed were photographs of fairies. Taken in the tranquil village of Cottingley in England, the images showed the girls posing with delicate, winged beings that seemed to dance and flutter beside them. The photos quickly became a sensation, even drawing the endorsement of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the famed creator of Sherlock Holmes. Doyle was convinced these images were proof of the supernatural, and they became a symbol of hope during the bleak years of World War I. However, decades later, the cousins admitted that most of the photographs were faked, created using paper cutouts and clever positioning. But here's the twist. Frances insisted that one image was real, maintaining to her death that she had indeed seen fairies. Was it a simple childhood prank that spiraled out of control, or could there have been a flicker of truth amid the fabrication? Regardless, the Cottingley fairies story captured a universal longing to believe in magic, a belief that lingers even as the photos are viewed with skepticism today. For decades, the White House has been known not only as a symbol of power and governance but also as a place steeped in mystery. Among its most famous spectral residents is Abraham Lincoln. Numerous sightings have been reported over the years, particularly in the Lincoln bedroom. Visitors and staff alike have described a tall, somber figure standing near the fireplace or gazing out of a window. One account describes an intense feeling of being watched, only to turn and see the unmistakable form of Lincoln. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt herself spoke of sensing his presence, noting an aura of calm but solemn energy. Why Lincoln? Some speculate that his presidency, defined by the turmoil of the Civil War, left a deep imprint on the White House. Others suggest that his untimely death by assassination may have left him restless. Whatever the cause, Lincoln's ghostly presence has become a fixture of White House lore, suggesting that even within the most iconic halls of power, mysteries and echoes of the past linger. The Apollo 17 mission in 1972 was humanity's last journey to the moon, a feat of technology and exploration. But amidst the historic success, one photograph captured during the mission has puzzled researchers and conspiracy theorists alike. In the visor reflection of an astronaut's helmet, an odd figure can be seen. At first glance, it appears humanoid, standing upright, with a faint outline of a head, body, and even arms. Unlike the other astronauts, this figure seems to lack a life support backpack and is positioned in a way that defies explanation. Could it be a trick of light or a distortion caused by the curved helmet? Or, as some speculate, is it evidence of something, or someone, on the moon with them? NASA has long attributed such anomalies to photographic artifacts or debris on the lunar surface. Yet skeptics point out the peculiar posture and the absence of any logical source for the reflection. The image has sparked countless debates, with some insisting it's proof of extraterrestrial presence, while others suggest it could be an unintentional projection of the astronaut's imagination. Whether a simple illusion or something far stranger, the image remains one of the moon's greatest mysteries, fueling the idea that even after all we've achieved, the lunar surface might still hold secrets we've yet to uncover. Perched on a hill in Kentucky, Waverly Hills Sanatorium looms large as one of the most infamous haunted sites in the United States. Once a tuberculosis hospital where thousands perished, it is now known for its chilling tales of shadow people. These shadowy figures, described as humanoid but lacking any discernible features, are said to flit along the hallways, sometimes following visitors or disappearing through walls. Unlike traditional ghostly apparitions, shadow people are unsettling in their ambiguity, more like living darkness than spirits. Many believe these entities are the lingering energy of the thousands who suffered and died in the sanatorium's halls. Others theorize they could be interdimensional beings, feeding on the fear they inspire. Still others think the shadow people may simply be tricks of the mind, a psychological reaction to the heavy atmosphere of such a tragic place. Whatever the explanation, encounters with these figures are almost universally described as terrifying. Waverly Hills remains a place where history and mystery collide, casting long shadows that seem to move on their own. In 1990, as Voyager 1 drifted farther into the vastness of space than any human-made object before, NASA gave it one final task: to turn its camera back toward Earth. What it captured became one of the most iconic and humbling images in history. Our planet appearing as a tiny speck, a pale blue dot, suspended in a sunbeam against the infinite blackness. From a distance of 3.7 billion miles, Earth looked insignificant, almost lost in the cosmic void. Yet this faint dot held everything: every person, every animal, every triumph, and every tragedy in human history. The late Carl Sagan famously reflected on the image, calling it a reminder of both our fragility and our shared humanity. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceit than this distant image of our tiny world, he said. This photograph not only redefined how we see ourselves but also begged the question, if we are this small, what else is out there? From this humbling perspective, we turn to another ambitious Voyager project, a message sent into the unknown. Launched aboard Voyager 1 and 2 in the late 1970s, the Golden Records represent humanity's attempt to communicate with the cosmos. These gold-plated copper discs are a snapshot of Earth's life, culture, and diversity, intended to inform any extraterrestrial civilization that might encounter them about who we are. They contain 115 images, greetings in 55 languages, a range of natural sounds, including thunder, whales, and birdsong, and music from across cultures, from Beethoven to traditional Peruvian songs. Creating the records posed profound challenges. How do you distill all of Earth's complexity into a single message? And perhaps the more unsettling question, what if the recipient misunderstands? For some, the records are a gesture of peace. For others, they are a risky beacon, calling attention to our location in the galaxy. Hurtling through interstellar space, the Golden Records are a symbol of humanity's curiosity, hope, and daring. But back on Earth, there are stories that suggest we may already have visitors far closer to home, as seen in the mysterious sightings of the Moth Man. In 1966, the quiet town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, became the epicenter of an eerie phenomenon. Locals began reporting sightings of a strange winged creature with glowing red eyes, quickly dubbed the Moth Man. Described as a humanoid figure with enormous wings, it was often seen near the TNT area, a former munitions plant. Over the next year, dozens of encounters were reported, with some claiming the Mothman appeared before disasters or during unexplained power outages. The creature gained infamy when, in December 1967, the Silver Bridge, connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio, suddenly collapsed, killing 46 people. Many believed the Mothman had been an omen, warning of the tragedy to come. Was it a cryptid, an alien, or simply a collective hallucination born from fear? Despite no concrete evidence, the legend endures. Even today, Point Pleasant celebrates its mysterious visitor with an annual Mothman festival, keeping the story alive. From glowing eyes in the woods, we now again turn our gaze to the cosmos for a signal that has puzzled scientists for decades. In 1977, while scanning the skies with Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope, astronomer Jerry Amon stumbled upon something extraordinary, a powerful burst of radio waves that lasted for 72 seconds. The signal, which seemed to originate from the direction of the Sagittarius constellation, was so unique and precise that Amon circled the data printout and wrote "Wow" beside it. Since then, the WOW signal has become one of the most compelling mysteries in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Its frequency, 1420 MHz, is notable, as it corresponds to the hydrogen line, a part of the radio spectrum thought ideal for interstellar communication. Despite numerous attempts to detect it again, the signal has never reappeared. Was it a message from an intelligent civilization, or could it have been a natural cosmic event we still don't understand? The mystery of the WOW signal is both tantalizing and frustrating, inviting us to wonder about the countless signals we might be missing in the vast noise of the universe. Orbiting Mars is its potato-shaped moon, Phobos, a desolate and rocky world that has intrigued scientists for decades. But it was a photograph taken by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter that added an air of mystery to this lifeless moon. On its barren surface lies a large, upright structure, a monolith, standing out starkly against the otherwise featureless landscape. The monolith's unnatural appearance has sparked countless theories. Is it a relic of an ancient civilization, an alien artifact, or simply a natural rock formation? Even astronaut Buzz Aldrin weighed in, calling the monolith a symbol of exploration. Scientists argue it's most likely a chunk of rock, but the perfectly geometric shadow it casts raises questions. What makes this even more curious is Phobos itself, a moon that some believe may be hollow, based on strange measurements of its density. From this mysterious object in the Martian system, let's move to an equally enigmatic encounter closer to home, a mysterious vessel from Japan's past. In 1803, Japanese fishermen along the shores of Hitachi province encountered something straight out of legend. A strange circular vessel floating in the water. Dubbed the Utsurobuna, meaning hollow ship, this object resembled a small boat but was unlike anything they had seen before. Its exterior was adorned with unknown symbols, and its interior contained peculiar items, none of which could be identified. Inside the craft was a mysterious woman with pale skin and red hair, dressed in clothes unfamiliar to the fishermen. She reportedly spoke an unknown language and carried a strange box she refused to let go of. The fishermen, baffled, eventually set the vessel adrift, unsure of what to make of it. Some believe this story is an early account of a UFO sighting with the Utsurobune as a spacecraft. Others think it was merely a foreign shipwreck. Whatever it was, the encounter remains unexplained, a tale blending folklore and mystery. That's about it. Write in the comments which photos seem the most unusual to you. For more useful information, watch other videos.